Hi guys, so as we start this video, we'll include in materials. First, we'll need a baseball bat, a baseball tee, and a batter's box, including a home plate.
Okay guys, for step one, we'll be placing the tee on top of home plate. Right in the center is fine. You don't want it too far to the right or too far to the left. It could cause you to hit the ball in a different direction. Now, if you did want to place the tee and hit a ball a certain direction, then you move it left or right. But I would suggest keeping the tee on top of home plate. That way you're in the zone. After that, you'll place the baseball on top of the tee. When you move the tee around, you still want to have that ball on top of the tee, because we have to be able to hit it. So make sure the ball's on top of the tee and the tee's on top of home plate.
After step one, we'll stand in the batter's box with your bat. While stepping in, your toes should be facing the opposing batter's box, aligned in the same horizontal angle as the chalk line before home plate, as you see above. For step 3, you want to stand 2 inches away from the chalk line before home plate in the back of the box. Your feet should be shoulder width with your knees slightly bent for a good athletic position.
For step 4, I'll be explaining the 3 eyes. So it is important that we keep the 3 eyes facing directly towards the pitcher. That way we have a good, consistent swing. We don't want our swing to be misdirectional. If we have one of them facing a certain direction, it can make our swing inconsistent. So we want to make sure that the head, the hips, and the feet are directly aligned towards the pitcher. After your 3 eyes are aligned, grab the bat and place it on your shoulder where the knob is facing toward the opponent's batter's box. Now we do this for power. I like to do this. Some people put it straight towards the ground, but I'd say this is the best position according to MLB.com, to where I see multiple guys using the bat knob facing towards the opponent's batter's box. The next step is where we get more into a power position, but the bat knob facing towards the opposing batter's box is a good step. Okay guys, so step 6 is where we start our swing. We got to make sure that we're always paying attention to the ball wherever that is. The ball could be coming from the pitcher, or we can just be hitting off the tee like above. We got to be able to not only have a consistent swing, but make sure it's not consistent to where we're missing the ball. We could be hitting the top of the ball. We can be in the lower half of the ball if we're not paying attention. We're not keeping eye contact with the ball. So make sure our eyes are always on the ball. For step 7, we're going to be getting into the power position. I call this, we're turning the knob 45 degrees away from the pitcher. Usually the knob is going to face the catcher, which is in the back of the batter's box. This is not a very good angle for that. But to be able to get in this position will really help us in the long run if we want to hit for power. I don't know if you guys want to continue this. Hitting's a very hard sport, but if we're able to add more power to our swing, it benefits us to hit the ball further. So I would prefer getting into this position before we go into our swing. Step 8 is where we start our turn for our swing. Now, it is important that we still make eye contact with the ball. We never want to lose sight, as I said in step 6. So make sure when we start our swing, we want to kind of keep the knob towards our shoulder along that angle like above. This will help us with staying connected, being able to hit the ball in the air, not being able to roll over. Now, rollovers happen when our hands disconnect from our body, and that's why I'm saying that we want our knob and our bat more close to our shoulder. That way we have a more not only consistent swing, but we're connected to able to hit the ball in the air. Step 9 is where we use our hips. Now, when we use our hips, it tends to add more power, just like when we turn the knob 45 degrees towards the catcher and away from the pitcher. Now, when we use our hips, we don't necessarily want to pull off. Now, what I mean by pull off is this hip goes straight out and our hands go with it, like we're just like free swinging, basically like a Ferris wheel. Like if we just twirl around. We don't want to twirl around. We want to just stay connected, have our hands still back while opening that hip up to create more power. Step 10 is where we finish our swing. Now, when we finish our swing, we want to follow through and be extended as long as we can until we have that knob like above facing back towards the pitcher. Now, this is how we finish our swing. Most people finish with one hand, 2 hands. You can finish with 2 hands like the picture. But for beginners, I would suggest that using two hands is more appropriate, especially first timers. If y'all ever prefer or try to swing a bat, I prefer to swing with two hands. That way, you develop good habits. Sometimes people can get away with one hand, but it doesn't lead to consistent swing. So to be able to have both hands on the bat facing the pitcher will really help us in the long run to have more consistent swing and have more power.